Hey guys, this is JonTaun from Total Brohammer, and we're back with another Warhammer 2 quick battle. Today we're fighting Cocaine Samurai. I like it. So, I'm going to be Empire. Been neglecting Empire a little bit. They're my favorite faction, so we gotta get them in here. And the Lizardmen. Alright, so what do I want to bring against the Lizardmen? I'm actually thinking about bringing Karl Franz on foot here. Let's bring us abilities. That'll give him some really good AP and anti-large damage. What else do we want to bring? For our magic, we will of course bring the Light Wizard with the Net Vemta. A staple, especially in such a matchup where focusing down large single entity targets can be so important. Let us grab... I feel like we need 2 great swords for the front line. Let's also get a couple flagellants. Let's get 3, and we'll intersperse them with the great swords. Let's grab 2 halberdiers, 2 spearmen. Let's go for the Silver Bullets and Sterling's Revenge. And for our cavalry, let's get 2 Demigryph Knights. Okay, we're going to need to cut something to get that last Demigryph Knight. You know what, let's go ahead and cut one of these halberdiers. We'll grab another Demigryph Knight. We want to get the ones with halberds, of course. And we'll just get 2 spearmen instead. Oh, not enough money. Let's see if there's anything we can cut. You know what, we'll cut this whole line. If he gets hit by a dinosaur, then he gets hit by a dinosaur. I don't think that's going to help all too much. Alrighty. Actually, yeah, I think we'll forego the cannon on this one. Let's see if we can do it. Hopefully we're on this side of the map, so he has to come to us. But, yeah, we have a pretty good front line here. Lots of anti-large, of course, which is what you need against the Lizardmen. But we got some armor piercing, and we got some unbreakable guys, so we should be able to hold out for quite a while. Alright, so let's start this thing. So the reason I'm bringing Franz is Karl Franz actually has armor piercing at all times. That's the one thing that's special about him. He doesn't have healing, and he doesn't have any really cool abilities or anything like that, but he does have armor piercing whether he's on a griffin, a Pegasus, a horse, or on foot. So I'm going to bring him. I am going to bring his 2 abilities, as one gives him anti-large and melee attack, and one of them also gives, I believe, a melee attack buff to all the troops around him. So if I intersperse him in the front line, he can be quite useful there. Also, being that he is on foot, he can get knocked around, which in general makes it much harder to kill for large dinos. Say if Kroq Gar comes and charges him, he's going to throw him probably across the map. And, I believe you are actually immune to damage while you're on the ground, so that's why we're going to bring him on the ground. One of the reasons that Dwarf Lords, most of them having no mounts, are so tanky. Alright, well, good luck to my opponent, Cocaine Samurai. Love the name. Looks like we are on the Devastation of Ostermark. An interesting map. I think I prefer to be on this side. I feel like even if you're up here, your cannons don't really have a good line of sight. And I really want him to come to me. I'm hoping that he'll come to me. Because then we can either funnel him right here, or we'll probably send some troops around this side as well, but I feel like we have the superior position. That is, unless he brings solar engines. But they're fairly short range, so hopefully we'll be able to deal with that. It might have I'm not sure what the range is. They might have about the same range as a handgunner. We'll have to check. Alright, so I'm going to intersperse these great swords with these flagellants. And I'm just going to throw spears just all over the place. I'm going to put my guns on guard mode so that I do not overextend. And good. Everywhere. So, everywhere he goes, there's going to be anti-large. Of course, with Kroq Gar, probably the most powerful lord in the game, you can just pull through anything. And Carnosaurs do beat the hell out of these Demigryph Knights with halberds, so we gotta be careful of that. The Demigryph Knights with halberds did get pretty big stat nerfs, so they're not nearly as good as they used to be. Alright, so let's put these halberds in the secondary line, and that's looking good. Put Karl Franz up front, so he can provide that melee buff, and let's see which one that is. So... Alright, so... the Reichland Roofing gets plus 26 melee attack and plus 8 leadership to himself and allies in range. So that's pretty good for 33 seconds. It's rather expensive. I'm not sure it's worth it. I could have brought more, just gone wider without these, but you know what, we'll try it out. We will try it out. Let's get our light wizard back here, though. We don't want him taking the initial brunt of the charge. He's very squishy. And let's do it, guys. So, the enemy has 815 troops. We outnumber him by about 300. Obviously, he's going to have some large dinos. Probably Kroq Gar. Although, to be honest, Mazamuni would be pretty good on this map too, but he does have Kroq Gar. Let's see. 4 Saurus Warrior. Skink Priest of Beasts, Skink Priest of Heavens, that's interesting. I'm still on the Revivification Crystal, and 2 Skink Cohorts. So he does have 2 chameleon skinks over here. So what I think I'm going to do is, he thinks he has a skirmish advantage here, but I have a net of Ammontok. So let's see if I can net these guys and destroy them. Looks like he's going to pull back. Interesting. Alright. So you know what? I'm going to come up here. And this is a real choke point, but I actually feel like that'll be an advantage for me, because then I can net down Kroq Gar, who, when he tries to come through here, and then just shoot him down. So hopefully that will work out for us. We're just gonna have our Demigryph Knights nearby, and let's get our gunners set up over here. Let's get our Light Wizard headed this way, and let's bring our Demigryph Knights. I definitely don't want to send these Demigryph Knights after these chameleon skinks. If they're not netted down, because the chameleon skinks will actually, with their poison, be able to mostly outrun these Demigryph Knights with halberds and be able to destroy them. So I've made that mistake before, and I'm not going to do it again. Alright, so our formation is not really going to work here, so let's get into a tighter formation up here. And we're just going to screen out these chameleon skinks with these spearmen with shields. The shields will block 35% of the missile damage coming from the front, so that will be useful. Let's get our guns right back here. So let's see what spells he brought. Looks like he's got Wiston's Wild Form and Wind Blast, as well as Curse of the Midnight Wind. So not bad. Not bad. Let's send these guys this way and get Karl Franz up here as well. So Wind Blast will be able to do some pretty good damage on our gunners. I assume that's what he's going to try to do. So let's get these guys out of the formation. We just need them to screen. And he actually did some pretty good poking on our greatsword right there. Ooh, that was good. That actually didn't show me that. I thought it would at least show me and give me a chance to dodge. Try to change. So let's get into combat here. We need to get our guns up here for sure. Let's get Franz up here and have these guys be ready to jump on Kroq Gar when he eventually breaks through the line. Alright. Let's just get an engagement across the front line. Let's get these greatswords on these Temple Guard over here. And looks like that's going to be a Curse of the Midnight Wind. Alright. So let's get you guys shooting at the Bastildon with Revivification Crystal. And he does have 2 Gold 1 Spirit Riders, but they are way back there. That's kind of strange that he has them so far back. But you know what? It's good for us. Okay, so here comes Kroq Gar, and of course we are going to net him down. Now that he's isolated, let's start shooting him down, and let's get our Demigryph Knights on him over there. Let's go ahead and pop these buffs and try to get this Bastildon with Revivification Crystal off the field. We definitely want him gone, so we'll get these guys to intercept the skinks. We have these guys in our rear line to stop any advancing, oh geez, Wind Blast. Well, it showed me that one that time at least, so that's something. Pull these guys back, and Kroq Gar is still netted, and he's still moving around, so bit of a bug there. And let's put these 2 good nice. And he is just pulling through with his troops, which is honestly a great plan. So let's pull back with these guys, pull back with these guys, and just start running cycle charges through with our Demigryph Knights with halberds. Alright, let's start shooting at Kroq Gar again. Let's go ahead and net him down. He's going after the Karl Franz. Come on, stop running and shoot at him. Let's get Karl Franz over here. Alright. So these guys are going to run into our spears, and they are braced, so that's fine. And they also did not even get the charge, which is also good. Let's go ahead and run into Kroq Gar over here. And we keep on shooting, guys. Keep on shooting. Oh, look how much damage Kroq Gar did with that one attack. That was like 25% damage with one attack. It's just insane. But we are doing a lot of damage to him, at the very least. So let's pull our Demise Knights back. Have them keep on chasing, actually. And pull them into these Cold One Spear Riders. Now, he is missing the charges with these Cold One Spear Riders. So that's Cold One Spear Riders. So that is very bad for him. And let's try to pull these guys through, because we really got to finish off Kroq Gar. The worst thing you can do is let Kroq Gar come back to the battle. So let's start shooting at these guys here. And intercept those. Let's bring Karl Franz back here to deal with these wizards. Oh no, let's have him go after him. He is healing Kroq Gar, but we are hot on his tail. I do believe he'll come back, and he'll probably be able to beat those Demise Knights on his own, in fact. Alright, so where's... We got Karl Franz holding up this entire side by himself, essentially. So let's bring these Demise Knights in here and do a rear charge on these guys. And I think we may have this, guys. It's looking pretty good. Ah, look at Karl Franz just getting beaten by those basic Saurus warriors. That's kind of embarrassing. The old world lords in general, though, guys, are not very good. I mean, there are good ones. I mean, you got Manfred von Kostein, and all the vampire lords are good. Of course, the vampires do have some terrible ones as well. But yeah, looks like it's going pretty well. I think we might be able to do this. Our infantry are breaking off, but so are his. Let's shoot at this wizard right here, and let's have these guys shoot at this wizard. We'll just charge around with our Demise Knights. Let's go ahead and finish off this Bestowal with Revivification Crystals. That's really going to hurt his morale. Let's get these guys into the Source Spear. And let's go after this wizard with Karl Franz over here. And we did get that Bestowal down with Revivification Crystal. So, it's pretty close, guys, but I think we got this. And looks like we might have some shatters going down. So you guys can shoot at him, you guys can pull back. And look, he really mismicroed his cavalry over here. And he wasted these chameleon skins, costing 600 and being pretty good in melee on just shooting at these shielded spearmen the entire match. So that was also a micro mistake on his part. Despite that, he did tatter our army very much. Okay, and so here's one of the problems with this game right now. See how my guys don't have a clear line of sight? Instead of just standing where they were and maybe firing at something else since they're on fire at will, they decided to walk up to the unit. I mean, they still have the same line of sight that they had back here. So, that is definitely a bug, and hopefully they fix that. And let's get Karl Franz over here on that other wizard. Now that he's routed off that one. Yep, and we do indeed have this one, guys. So, let's not overextend with anybody. It's not quite over yet. And let's pull these guys back. So we do have a net. I mean, might as well go ahead and overcast a net on this guy, I suppose. No reason why not. That insult to injury, and we're just going to shoot him down. Not even fair. Oh, look at that poor skink chief. Look at him. Karl Franz is just walking away. A shameful display. And it looks like the shatters are going down. So, that's all for this one, guys. Let's look at that in battle screen. So, Karl Franz, honestly, not worth it. I should have just brought just General of the Empire on foot and gotten really, really cheap. I mean, he's almost 2,000, only got 30 kills, and he's still going to lose to Kroq Gar in one-on-one combat. So why even bring him when Kroq Gar can cost like 2,500 and be on a goddamn Carnosaur? Spearman did a good job at just holding the back line. He didn't get charges on the Spearmen, which wouldn't have really helped since they were braced, but he should have tried to get around them. Our Greatswords did fairly well. This one actually got a experience chevron. They were fighting Temple Guard and just Source Warrior in general, so to be expected there. Temple Guard do actually beat Greatswords in 1-1, as you might expect. They are halberd infantry, but Greatswords are pretty bad great weapon infantry in comparison to others. Fly Giants didn't get many kills. Kind of wondering if they were even worth bringing. I mean, they are They are unbreakable, but maybe I should have just gone with another greatsword and just intermix them with like spearmen with shield or something, who have 42 melee defense actually, so they could have lasted a long time as well. Or maybe just halberdiers, because Swords Warriors do have 60 armor, and that really is going to help hurt the flagellants. But despite the glitches, our Sherlin's Revenge and the Silver Bullets did pretty good. And the fact that he went to that little choke point really helped us, because it forced everything into close quarters, and the Sherlin's Revenge, being that they have such a short range, really benefited from that. Our Demigryph Knights with halberds did really well as well. This one with 51 kills, this one with 101, and they were able to do some damage to Kroq Gar and a lot of damage to that Bastiladon. So, Demigryph Knights with halberds are pretty much good against all the large dinos, but putting them up against Carnosaurs of any type is a bad idea. Carnosaurs will absolutely wreck Demigryph Knights with halberds. Alright, so for our enemy, Kroq Gar, well, y'all saw what happened. He still did pretty good despite getting netted down the whole time, basically. But, and y'all just saw how much fire it took to take Kroq Gar down. With all the healing that the Lizardmen have, he can just stay up forever. He also has 25% missile resistance, so I think for the Lizardmen, either the missile resistance on all their large dino needs to be taken away, or their healing needs to be nerfed. And I think it's probably the healing that needs to be nerfed. That would make it overall better for both melee and ranged engagements. So Skink Priest was casting some debuff spells, and he got some really good wind blasts actually with this Skink Priest Heavens. I don't know if he casts Wisdom's Wild Form at any point. Basically, he just brought these two guys for the cold-blooded, but I probably would have put the Skink Priest on a Pterodon, or I probably would have brought a Skink Chief instead on a Pterodon and just had him poking at some high-value target the entire game, because those Skink Chiefs actually have 100 rounds, so over the course of a game, he could have easily sniped out my Light Wizard. In fact, that's probably what I would have done. If I was using my net on Kroq Gar, he could have got his Skink Chief over there and just had him poking at my Light Wizard the whole game. And by the time I got through 2 nets, he probably could have had him dead. But his Saurus Warriors with shields did very well. Same thing with the Spears. They were fighting Flagellants and Spearmen, to be expected. His Skink cohorts got beat by the Spearmen, and he really wasted his cavalry over here, as well as his chameleon skinks, honestly. So, that's going to be all for this one, guys. This is JonTaun from Total Brohammer signing out.